I'm just gonna go for it, I think. Oh, go. Welcome everybody to what's going to be an exploration of the western side of the Sydney Blue Mountains. Me and my DRZ 400E going to explore the Canangra Boyd National Park, Genola State Forest, Hampton State Forest, and just pretty much explore the crap out of it all in one big day trip. I've got no luggage on my bike. I've been out here once before on the bike, but it was full of fog everywhere, so all the awesome lookouts, you couldn't see anything but clouds, so they may as well not have existed that day. But today we've got the sun shining and we're going to get absolutely after it. Let's go. Well, after that mammoth 4-hour ride on a day trip, I've still got to do 4 hours back just to experience some bush. It's time to let down the old tyres. So that was reading 25 psi, but I know I only put 20 in that this morning. So because of the heat and 100 kilometers an hour for the last 4 hours, I've gained 5 psi. So I'll drop 5 psi, which in theory is 15 psi. Do a bit of a mathematical equation. Boom, 10, yep. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. Beauty. Good to go. I must admit, this is probably one of my favourite sections of bush in the Blue Mountains in terms of scenery. It's just absolutely ancient landscape. And as we get further along and further into the bush, you can just tell that it's been around here for absolutely ever. And it's awesome to be able to ride through it, that's for sure. Certainly no crazy tracks, very much fire trail orientated in the Canangra National Park, but nevertheless, it is absolutely unbelievable riding, that's for sure. Because it's an awesome clear day and I'm coming to one of the best lookouts in Australia in my opinion, I'm carrying my busted ankle and all. I'm limping along. I've left my bike and I'm going to do the 30-minute return walk purely to show everybody who hasn't seen Canangra Walls Lookout how awesome it looks. So let me just take my time to get there and then I'll click play again. Well, there's Canangra Walls in their absolute glory, the sun shining off them. All the way in the distance there is Katoomba, about 45 to 50 kilometers away. You can do that hike from here to there. I've done that before, it totally sucked, but awesome at the same time. But I mean, this is just such a steep cliffside, mountains as far as the eye can see, and it just looks absolutely ancient, as I said before. If you've never been to this lookout here, it's a bit of a long trip to come to, but it's just the Sydney Blue Mountains at their absolute finest in my opinion. Hopefully the GoPro's capturing it all and doing it justice, but I'm the only one here. My little motorbike got me here. Just fantastic. Because I get fairly sentimental with the old family, my father probably would have done the same thing, but right on this rock here, as you can see in this photo, about 1.5 to 2 years ago, me, my brother and my son, who was 1 year old, had a photo before I committed to a 45-kilometre hike all the way through the bush here. But yeah, mark my words, if I'm fit and healthy, once my son gets of age, I'm going to bring him right back here, take another bloody photo here, and we'll get amongst it together, and I'll be the old fart and he'll be the fit young one. But looking forward to that day very much. I tell you what, doing an adventure type ride without any luggage on your bike minus your backpack makes life so much more easier and enjoyable. Obviously you can't stop and camp or whatnot, but you can go so much faster and just control the bike so much better, and your brakes actually work a whole lot better too, especially on a DRZ. I'm normally carrying anywhere from 20 to 30 kilos, so a very pleasant surprise to be out on these tracks with none of the weight. Awesome stuff. I've came to a dead end, so give the bike a bit of a break. It's certainly been it's getting pretty thrashed today. Let's see if there's a bit of a lookout down here, eh? Just be careful of this silly old foot of mine. Yeah, beauty.
Not quite as grand and as significant as the Canangara Walls lookout, but still just bloody awesome. I'm pretty sure in the southerly direction is about 100 kilometres worth of bush, which is awesome to know. Maybe a few towns in between. But that's my next ridgeline, I believe. So that river down there, which you probably can't see, I think I've got to cross, if memory serves me correctly. Hopefully she's not flowing too fast. First river crossing. I can't see if there's any rocks in there, but I'm just gonna go for it, I think. Oh, go. That is way deeper than I thought. Jesus, how cool is that? It's kind of a weird feeling because for the first half of this ride I'm retracing tracks the best I can from a ride I did about 2 years ago, I guess, when I introduced having a microphone to my filming and whatnot. But that day was so miserable, still enjoyable, but cold, foggy, misty, a bit of rain. I mean, it's just a complete different feeling. I'm on the same track, but a complete different feeling than when I was last here, and the visibility is so much better. It's just like a whole new ride again, so I'm so glad I came out here. Definitely worthwhile visiting tracks that you've been on before, I guess. These roads or fire trails are dead set smoother than the freeways around my house. Obviously all the money's going into the bush and not the bloody main residential streets. How weird is that? Absolutely awesome for me though, because right now I'm on the smoothest fire trails I've ever been on. Bloody brilliant. For most adventure riders, that's always a positive sign. Four-wheel drive only. That's exactly what we want to see. Maybe one day they'll introduce motorbikes only signs. That'll be awesome. Designated legal fire trails, single trails for motorbikes only in the bush. Maybe one day, I remember this river crossing. This was a very expensive one that cost me a lot of money, and I'll explain why in 1 second. That's right, I kind of forgot about that until now. Oh, she's looking a lot tamer this time, that's for sure. So like I said before, I did this trip about 2 years ago. It was the first time my GoPro 9 and recording with audio. And I remember I had my visor here because I was doing a big trip. And when I got to the other side, it was way rougher than it looks now, so that's positive for today. But the bike bounced up and I wanted to move my body accordingly, and my GoPro hit the top of my visor, my wind visor, and smashed it back into its mount and cracked the screen. The GoPro was like a week old. So I was so shitty, but luckily I could keep recording, but the GoPro was no longer waterproof and had to get a whole new replacement. So yeah, that brought back memories, that's for sure, coming down that hill. Today though, I think we'll be just fine, hopefully. I've had a good little break at the river and we're just gonna go straight into this one. Yep, go, a bit slippery, yeah, easy. So much better than last time when I broke my bloody GoPro. Awesome stuff. Part of the reason why I wanted to come back out here on a nice day is I'm trying to remember where I saw a little water crossing where the water flew through a natural log, just hollowed it out, and I just thought it was pretty cool. But it was so foggy that day, I just felt it just felt eerie as, so I didn't stay long. But I'm hoping I'm on the right track to find that again. My memory's not really picking up which track it was, but let's see how we go. That'll be awesome to find again. The last time I was here, I could only see about 15 to 20 meters all around me, and it was early in the morning. And I tell you what, if there's a such thing as bloody yowies and drop bears and bunyips, this would be the sort of place they would live. So I like to think I'm pretty tough, but I had this eerie feeling. I was like, I'm out of here, stuff this. I'm happy to admit that. But today, complete different feeling. How awesome. The water flows here. This log down here is hollowed out. Obviously has been placed here, but travels under the track. No doubt it wasn't hollow to start with. So I'm going to get down in here to show what this looks like, laying upside down. See what that looks like on camera. And it goes all the way through there and out here. And that water looks fresh as can be. How cool is that? Just a little creek, but I find that pretty fascinating that it's got a natural little causeway under the track. Awesome. This is another location where I was last time, and these big trees were just popping out of the mist. It was freezing cold, and I couldn't even keep an eye on the track because of the mist being so thick. It was such a weird feeling. There's no way my headlight was going to penetrate it. But this track has definitely gotten less and less used by the looks of it. I'm in full exploration mode now. Almost feel like I'm bush bashing, but I am on a track on the maps, that's for sure. This is a big fallen down tree. I wonder. Pop up here. Go through here. Oh yeah, that's going to work much easier than anticipated. If I was in a four-wheel drive, I'd have to get a chainsaw out, I guess. According to the map, I'm approaching the end of this trail, which has been pretty full on. Oh wow. Get a bit of bouldering happening without the agileness though. Get this out of the way. Try not to fall. Well, that was the other side of the mountain range that I was on and came down. Just so much bushland. Pretty cool little rocky outcrop. It's just so enjoyable being in the bush out here. Like, how could you not want to get a motorbike, push bike, give it a four-wheel drive and just be amongst it? It's so cool. But like usual, I got no time to waste because I'm trying to do about 600 kilometers today or thereabouts, and I got more tracks to explore. So I'm out of here. Due to being on some time constraints and on a day trip today, I knew I didn't want to go back into Canangra Boyd National Park so I could explore the state forest, but now I'm zigzagging between farms, state forests, bush tracks. But in my experience, you never really know which one has a closed gate, ends up being private property, ends up being a dead end. So I'm kind of heading north, which is what I've got to do for about another 50 kilometers, and hopefully I can zigzag my way bush tracks only towards the freeway where I've got to be for a 2-hour drive home. So we'll see how we go. It's kind of exciting but also nerve-wracking because I might end up being late and then I'm going to be in trouble. So anyway, fingers crossed. Come on buddy, I don't have time to be doing catches and releases, but I feel too bad to let you get killed because too many of you are dead on the road. Come here. Don't bite me. Here we go. I know you're just sunning yourself, but at least stay on this side of the road. There you go. You're okay. Good boy. Don't come back on the road. Good. Well, that's my good deed done for the day. In terms of adventure riding, I've had the absolute perfect temperature type day. About 25 degrees, pretty much full sun. No humidity, just absolutely perfect. The bike, not overheating, nothing like that. It's loving life. So thank you, Mother Nature and the heavens, for a good day of weather. I love it. I tell you what, I've been going 20 kilometers zigzag here, there and everywhere. Thank goodness I've got my offline app here because I would be totally lost, and it's so tempting to want to go left, right, and all the side tracks. And if I could zoom in on my phone, which I won't because I'll crash, there is hundreds and hundreds of tracks. So I want to just do them all, but I can't, so I'm just going to keep going forward. What a day of riding so far though, absolutely sensational. While I keep zigzagging my way out of the State Forest, I am in Jenolan State Forest at the moment, but I'm going to make it a wrap there. I've done 320 odd kilometres so far. I've got 200 kilometres approximately to get home, so a bit over 500 kilometres for an adventure ride day trip. Not too bad at all. The weather's been awesome, the sights have been even better, the tracks have been even better again, but highly recommend the Canangra Boyd National Park and surrounds for a day trip overnighter. The DRZ 400E, well, it got me 200 kilometres on the tar to get me here. It's done about 150 bush tracks. It'll do another 200 to get me home. Once again, can't complain about the bikes just delivered. But anyway, enough talk. On that note, I'll catch you on the next ride. And how good is it that I'm riding again, even though I've got a sore ankle, but getting by just enough to be able to ride. So I'm in absolute heaven again, and I'll catch us all next time.